welcome you all to Zoho Creator Learning Table Series. Learning Table Series is a month-on-month session in which we have been discussing about 12 months, 12 industries concept. We used to take the industry, address all the industrial processes and how we can make best use of Creator for that industry. As everyone is aware, Creator is an low-code solution building platform with which you can build and customize application seamlessly for any industry. So this month, we are focusing on a predominant industry, manufacturing. In addition to that, to make the session even more beneficial, we are extending our process by bringing in a collaborative model in which the session is going to be driven by a partner with a solution that they have built for the customers based on a specific industry. And we are super glad to introduce Simprosoft, who has been partnering with us since 2017. Simprosoft, the IT division of NHM, was founded in 2006 by Bhatri Seshadri and K. Satyanarayanan, who both had graduated from Indian Institute of Technology, Chennai. Simprosoft is a certified Zoho Premium partner and focuses on developing solutions using Zoho suite of products on cloud-based environment. Today, we have Mr. Ishwaran Ram, who is working as a Vice President at Simprosoft, one of the Zoho Premium partner in Chennai. He has over 2 decades of experience in building software solutions in Zoho and other platforms for global customers in areas of manufacturing, healthcare, financial services, retail, hospitality, entertainment, education and services, etc. They have built a solution with Creator in the manufacturing sector for the customer. So here, Mr. Ishwaran will be demonstrating us on the solution they have built in today's session. So before welcoming him and handing over the session to him, let me quickly set the housekeeping rules of the session. All the attendees in the session will be on mute, and please post your questions in the question tab. A recording of the session will be sent to all the attendees, and please participate in the polls and the surveys that are going to be conducted. So now a poll will be conducted. Please make sure you participate in that. And I welcome Mr. Ishwar. Hello, Ishwar.
Hi, Preeti. Good evening. Good morning.
So, Ishwar, I'm handing over the session transfer to you. We are very eager to see the solution built on manufacturing.
Thank you, Preeti. I got the invite.
Yes.
All right. We are set to start our session for today. Greetings to all those who are present in today's webinar. Thank you, Zoho Creator team, for giving us this opportunity to be part of Learning Table series and present our manufacturing solution built on Zoho Creator. It's indeed a pleasure to present this to all of you today. What I'm going to do over the next 45 to 50 minutes is probably take 5 minutes to give an overview on manufacturing industry processes and then dive deep into the solution, take you through some of the critical components that you will get to see today. As the solution is very large, I may not be able to take you through each of the processes today, but I will try my best to cover most of the critical processes so that you get an overview of the solution. Anyone who wants to do a deep dive later, we will always be happy to connect with you one-on-one. On that note, I'm going to start the presentation. This is the broad index or agenda that I'm going to take you through today. An overview of manufacturing industry. Manufacturing industry, as you know, is one of the largest industries in the world globally, and India pretty much have lot of manufacturers just like any other country. Therefore, the ERP for manufacturing process has become very crucial. Along with lot of tier 1 ERP solutions, Zoho has been a pioneer in building solutions. What we felt was to cater to any segment, be it small, medium or large enterprises, Zoho Creator could be used to build an end-to-end ERP, starting from sales to delivery, dispatch and delivery. And we tried it with Zoho Creator way back in 2019. That's when we started building this solution. And as we moved forward, we felt that the creator's capabilities are well suited for the ERP, and we went ahead with that from there. What we have done is there are two components associated with ERP, with this ERP. One is the core engine, which is built in Creator. On two sides, we have CRM, and on the other side, we have Zoho Books. CRM takes care of the sales process. Wherever the manufacturer has well-defined sales process, we can use CRM. And then on the other side, it could be any of the accounting software such as Zoho Books, QuickBooks. Wherever there is API integration capability, we will be able to integrate that with the respective accounting system. There is also an option where you do not want to use CRM, but you still want to manage your sale order within ERP. That is also possible. So it's all about turning on and off a particular process within ERP that will handle these yes or no situations. So this is how I'm going to take you through this session. And then this is the broad overlay of manufacturing lifecycle. For some of you who may not be so familiar with how a manufacturing industry works, this will be an eye-opener, starting from sale order, from where a customer gives the lead or opportunity to work with. From there, it gets into the planning, production planning and scheduling, followed by procurement, and then the raw material quality process. Then it goes to the warehouse, which is inventory management. And then from warehouse, it goes to the production. Production process happens there. Finally, the quality inspection for the finished goods also happens. Then we are all set for dispatching it to the customer and billing. So this is the broad overview or life cycle of manufacturing. At different stages, the other tools also come into play along with Zoho Creator. Let us see what it is. Now, this is the overall automation workflow that we have enabled in the system, starting from sale order, which I talked about at the beginning, to dispatch. You will see the end-to-end workflow in this particular diagram. The ones that you see in green bullets are about integration with other Zoho tools. When you look at the sale order, obviously there is an integration with the Zoho CRM. And then when you see the stock update or supplier payment, the entries go into the accounting system. That's how the integration happens. It's a two-way integration, which I will shortly show you. And then the red triangles that you see they denote the approval process or workflows that we have enabled within the system. When I say approval process, they are all dynamically definable approval workflows. Every organization will have different process of workflows to be created for approval. Therefore, a manufacturer will be able to define for what module he needs approval workflow, what kind of levels that he requires, and how does he want to manage the workflow. Some of the workflows could also be based on LOAs, where you can define an amount, ceiling, slab-based amount you can define for approval. A classic example will be purchase orders. Based on the value of the purchase order, the workflow can differ and the routing and the approval workflow, approval dynamics can change. So the whole lot of things can be completely configurable within the ERP. So this will give you a slightly broader outline of ERP that you are going to see today. This is the integration platform that we have used. If you see, all of these are native products of Zoho, starting with Creator, which has about 80-90% of the overall solution inbuilt into Creator. Supporting systems are CRM, Books and Analytics. Apart from Zoho CRM, it can be any other CRM. It could be Sugar CRM, it could be Salesforce and whatnot. Similarly, instead of Zoho Books, a customer is using some other accounting system and he wants to remind there, you can still retain and integrate with ERP. Analytics we are using partly. Now with Creator coming out with a lot of analytical components within Creator 6, we really may not require analytics as a separate engine. We could also build that along with Creator. So this is the integration roadmap, integration map rather, that we have. Wherever you see double arrows, two sides arrows means integration between two tools both ways. Data will go from CRM to Creator and back to CRM at different stages. How does it go? Where does it go? We are going to see in the following slides. This is the broad category of master data. Some of the menus, critical menus that you will get to see in the subsequent demo. This is how the configuration happens within the ERP, followed by standard set of reports that we give along with ERP. Over and above this, any number of reports, any amount of customization can be done in Creator. Those of you who are already users of Creator will know how easy it is to customize a report or create a report from Creator. And for those who are new, creating a new report with all the data points that are available could be done in a run of play. So that's how the reporting engine works within the ERP. Now let me take you to the application demo where I am going to show you some of the critical menus as I talked about a while ago. So what you see here is the sample dashboard, which is again only a sample dashboard. Now every customer will have a specific requirement in terms of what he wants to see. Therefore, we have the ability to customize this as per what the customer wants. When I say customer, the manufacturer. Now, this is the admin dashboard. Therefore, you will get to see a lot of inputs here, starting with sale order, purchase order, number of materials or items available, number of suppliers configured in the system, and then some of the comparative numbers between this year and last year, along with this month and last month. And as just mentioned, the entire approval workflow. What are the workflows that get triggered at various stages? Where is it pending for approval? As you click each of the numbers, you will get to see the drill down options as well. Then the statuses of various documents. When I say documents, basically they are functions. The sale order is a function, I can call it. Then the work order is a function, which is the next stage from sale order. So where does it stand? How many work orders are in open state? How many are in progress? So the management will get to see in a single screen the entire important data based on their need. Of course, depending on who is seeing this, we have different dashboards that can be configured. For example, the procurement team wants to see, they will get to see dashboards related to procurement alone or associated data points. So I will stop here as far as the dashboard is concerned. Now I'm going to take you through some of the critical functions. To start with, items. Items are nothing but materials, as we call in manufacturing this process. Every item is configured here, and you will also be able to create or associate that with a category and subcategory so that your grouping becomes very easy in terms of reporting. Every item can be categorized at a top level as a product or a raw material or a consumable, or even some of the child items that you may want to configure. You can do that. Consumables can be created here. The packing material can be created here so that you know exactly what needs to be done with the packing materials as well. Now let me drill down further and show you some of the important data points that are associated here. The part number, all of us will be very familiar with. This is the unique part number that is created for every item, along with the manufacturer name and the manufacturer's part number. This is also very crucial. A lot of times, the manufacturer's part number is what your customer is going to give. So based on that, you will be able to pick which relevant part number that we are going to use for manufacturing. That's where this comes into picture. And then you have the units of measurement. Two types of units of measurement, namely primary and secondary or alternate. When I say primary, it is the buying unit of measurement. And then when I say secondary or alternate, it is the distribution unit of measurement. I may be buying in tons and I may be distributing in kilograms. That's one of the examples that I can give you. Then you have the minimum stock and maximum stock that you can define in the system. Maximum stock is very vital because I will not want to increase my inventory cost unnecessarily. Therefore, I will want to keep track of how much I am going to stock. Unless otherwise I have a huge order to process, I will not want to exceed my maximum stock. That is very important. So even when you raise a purchase order, the system will control based on the stock that is available plus the stock that you are going to order and check if it is going to exceed the maximum stock and stop you from buying that. You still want to buy? There is a way out where an exception approval can be created and then approval obtained. You have the sales account, purchase account configuration. These are related to your accounting system for each of the items. Where does it go? How does it get reflected in your books in terms of stock and value? Then the IQC is nothing but quality process, incoming quality for raw materials. That is what is defined here. And some of the items will for sure go through quality check, even as a raw material. That is what we define here. And some of the branded materials that you may buy may not go through quality check. Therefore, you can set it as no. If the quality check is enabled, then the trigger will happen to the quality team as soon as the item is received. Quality has to inspect the item, approve it. Only then it will be going into the stock. Finally, the inactive or active status. By default, every item when you create will come in as active. At any time, you want to deactivate an item due to various reasons. You may have suspended a product, therefore you may want to deactivate it. All of that can be done using inactive button that you see here. Moving on to, now I've touched upon the items here. Items are materials. Please remember this word. Now I'm going to touch upon one of the very important components in manufacturing called bill of material. Those of you who are in manufacturing will be able to relate this very easily. For others, let me take a minute to explain what does this mean. Bill of material is nothing but for every product that a manufacturer makes, what are these subparts? What are the sub-products that go along with it? What are the child products that are used for me to make a product? You take a laptop, you take a mobile phone. Those are some of the easiest items that we can relate with because we use them day in and day out. What all goes into them? Each of the components are identified as a material or a sub-part number and defined here. So for me to manufacture one item of a particular part number, particular product, what are the items that are required? What is the unit of measurement? How many items are required? All of that I will define here, including packing material, because some of the products require special packing. You may not be able to easily do that. So what is the kind of packing material that is required? You can even configure it as part of the BOM. A lot of customers even use paint as one of the raw materials in their finished product. So they will also include that in the bill of material. So this forms one of the crucial elements in the ERP system. Now, once we have defined this, I'll touch upon this little later in detail when it comes to work order, how the work order creates the distribution, all of that I will touch upon BOM once again at that time. Now let me come to sales. Now, as I told you, there are two ways in which you can manage your sales process. One is using CRM and the other one is using ERP itself. If you do not want to follow a CRM and you want to create a sale order here, you have the option to do that. Your entire sale order can be created here, or it can be integrated from CRM to ERP, from where the data can be brought in here. So as you can see here, the customer's PO date, purchase order date, what is the expected shipment date, transportation rules, tax, what is the currency in which I am going to buy this, all of that, sell this rather, not buy, sell this you can do. So sitting in your country, you can sell it to any location globally. There is no restriction in terms of the currency. We handle the entire currency transactions, the taxations associated with it based on the currency which is set, the buying currency and the selling currency. Now coming to the items, you see this is the item for which the customer has given me a purchase order, which is a sale order for me. So I will define the item here. Once the item is chosen, all the other values will come here. Now based on the quantity, the rate, total taxes associated will be shown here. Now you can create a sale order for any number of items. There is no restriction on that. A sale order can even have 10 items. That's absolutely possible. And then the dispatch schedule. Now every sale order that you create in the system, how are you going to dispatch? How many dispatches are you going to make? Is it going to be one go or in staggered interval that you are going to create? You can define that here. For example, a customer is giving you a blanket purchase order for a year and you want to distribute it over a period of 12 months, you can create that here. That's possible. So based on this, your inventory management, distribution of work, scheduling, all those things will change based on the schedule that you create here. So this is how you can create a sale order within ERP even if you do not have a CRM in place. Now moving on to the next item is planning. Now once the customer has given the sale order to you, now what next you will be doing? You will plan. You need to create a forecast. You need to create a schedule. How am I going to work on this for me to produce this item? When am I going to produce this item? That is what you'll be doing next as part of the planning and forecasting. Here we have given two options for customers. One is every product that the manufacturer is going to make within his plant, it will go through the production process, which I will show a little later. Anything that is not related to the production, but it is going to be just buying and selling. Sometimes we do that. A lot of countries, a lot of customers do that, where they buy an item, they rebrand it and then they sell it. In that case, it need not go to even production. It will directly go to purchase model. In that case, you can either create a material request or a request for quotation and then manage. If you have stock, then directly you can take it from your warehouse and sell it. The moment you go to production module, then work order will get created. What is a work order? I'm going to show you next. Once the planning or forecasting is completed, then the system will take you to the work order module, in which you will create a work order for production. How am I going to do? I'm going to show you that. Let's take one example and I'll show you how a work order can be created against a sale order. Every sale order, wherever it is going to go into production module, will appear here. Every sale order that does not require production will directly go to procurement. It will not come here. As you can see here, from the sale order, all the relevant data are brought in, and then you will be able to see what is the material here, how many items. By default, from the sale order, the data is shown here. You have the option to create a buffer percentage. Sometimes these products, you may want to add some more quantity as a buffer and store it. It could be due to rejections. It could be due to suddenly some other order comes and you may want to fulfill that. As you produce 100, you don't mind producing 110, right? So you can add that as a buffer quantity and then manage. Even the buffer percentage, you can set it at item level. For a particular product, can I create a buffer or not? Even this can be defined as a rule in the system and managed. Sometimes it may be a proprietary product that you are manufacturing for a customer. You may not want to use it to anybody else. In that case, you can even create 0 buffer percentage based on the settings that you have defined. All these things you'll be defining here. And additionally, over and above the machines, what are the other tools and jigs that you may want to use for manufacturing? You can define here. So once the work order is created, next comes the scheduling of the work order. What does this scheduling mean? Every work order will go through a scheduling process. Let me show you an example here. I'm going to create work order. I have a work order which I have created already in the system. And when am I going to produce? When am I going to schedule this? How am I going to do that? That is exactly what I'm going to show you now. So for this particular quantity, we are going to define how I am going to create the schedule. Let me just show you this. Now there are 3 types of scheduling that you can do, namely daily schedule, weekly schedule, or a monthly schedule. When I started the demo, I talked about one of the important things where monthly schedule can happen. For example, a customer is giving you an annual purchase order and he is asking you to produce X quantity every month for the next 12 months. In that case, you will create a monthly schedule to start with, which you can again distribute that into weekly or daily. For a specific work order, which is one-off work order, you will normally create a daily schedule or a weekly schedule. If I have to create a daily schedule for this quantity, let me just put 2 days. Okay, in 2 days, I'm going to manufacture this. I'm just giving an example. By default, the system will show 2 rows for me in a subform. Now I will define when am I going to start the production. Let me just put 6th of March as the first day when I'm going to produce. Now 972 is the quantity that I need. It will by default divide that into 2 because I have chosen 2 days. I still have the option to modify this to 500, 600, then the number will automatically get reset. When am I going to do the next one? It can be next day, it can be 1 week later, it can be any time. Let me just put 10th as the next day. Now like this, you can create a schedule of, based on this, the system will identify what is the raw material required. For example, you do not have stock. Let's assume that for this product, you do not have any stock and you are going to create a start date as tomorrow. The system will alert you that for tomorrow, you cannot start because you still do not have the necessary raw materials. You can still go ahead. You may be confident to get the items, the system will alert you so that you will be able to modify the start date accordingly. Now comes the operations. What are these operations? For every product that you're going to manufacture, the system will take you through a production workflow. I will shortly show you that. For now, just remember this term, operation. So we have done the sale order, we have seen sale order, we have seen conversion of sale order into work order, and we have seen scheduling of work order. Once the scheduling of work order is done, we will be creating the material allotment. I need to allot a material for every work order. That is what I will be doing it through this functionality. Here I will be able to do that. I can even block an item. If you see here, the material is available in my warehouse. I can even block it against this work order. That is possible. Or I do not have a stock. I have the option to trigger a purchase order from here. I have the option to trigger an RFQ from here. I can do all that. The system will also tell you while you are going to purchase a particular item, are there any other purchase orders which are in pipeline for this same part number? So you will know, okay, there is already a purchase order which I have triggered. There is a quantity of item that I am already buying. I may use that for this as well. That intelligence also system will give you. So all these configurations, data capturing, you will do here as far as the material allotment process is concerned. Finally, we also give you an option to unblock. Now, sometimes you may want to block automatically. Some customers do not prefer automatic blocking or unblocking. When I say automatic blocking, sometimes they may want to manually block or unblock. That is what they do. Here, an item which is already blocked against a work order, you want to release it from that work order and assign it to another work order. Because there may be another very super urgent work order which has come and you want to fulfill that first. You may want to take out this quantity from the existing work order and push it to the second work order. You can push it to the second work order, or even you can take it to the warehouse. That is also possible. From a work order to another work order. From a work order to warehouse. And from warehouse to another warehouse, you can do that. All the combinations are possible here. So this is very crucial, which I just wanted to touch upon. Next, I will go to procurement. Procurement, you have the vendor's details here. Request for quotation is available here. Quotations, as you receive the quotations, you will be able to enter the quotations in the system and do analysis of quotation followed by purchase orders. Now, as part of Creator, those of you who are users of Creator will know that Creator allows us to create portal users, the external users, not the internal license users, the external users. So we also have the ability to configure vendors and assign them with portal access. That is optional. If you want to create a portal access, you can do that. The system will trigger an invitation to the vendor. Right from enrolling a vendor, you can do the whole vendor management process through the portal access that is given. That's optional because some of the suppliers may not be tech savvy. They may not be having enough infrastructure to use. In that case, you can skip. That is optional. By doing portal, there are a lot of advantages. Your entire mailing process can be cut down. And when the moment you place an RFQ, you want to push it to specific suppliers, that gets posted in their portal immediately. When they respond to you, they will be able to log into the system and respond. So the back and forth conversations through email can be completely cut down by using the portal. That is the advantage portal gives you. I talked about the request for quotation. Anytime you are working on commodity items which are going to go through a lot of price variations very regularly, you have the option to create an RFQ. You will be able to create RFQ against a particular supplier, against a particular item. You suppose, for example, an item is sold by 10 different suppliers. You can choose the suppliers, specific suppliers, and place the RFQ. So all the flexibilities are available to you. Once the RFQ people respond to RFQ, you'll be able to update the quotations. Now I will move to the purchase orders. Purchase order, you have multiple combinations of purchase orders which you can create in the system. As you can see here, regular PO you can create in the system. You can create a purchase order against a material request or indent, which is used in the manufacturing parlance. Somebody creates a material request. I would like to buy 5 laptops today. I will first create a material request. You go for an approval. It gets approved at different stages based on the workflow created, and then it comes to the procurement team for procurement. Now, if the material request is already approved, the rate is finalized, then the purchase order need not go for another approval, except for probably for finance team. Otherwise, If the indent or material request is not approved, then the purchase order will go for approval. Even this you can configure. At what level do you want to create the workflow for approval is something that you can configure. You have raised the RFQ, your suppliers have responded with their quotations. Now you are going to create a purchase order against a quotation. You can do that here. Now the next option is create a PO against the sale order. I told you some time back that you have two options. One is the production route, one is the trading route, where you are just going to buy and sell after rebranding with your name. In that case, it is not going to go for work order. Now you have the sale order. From sale order, you can convert that into purchase order. Thereby, all the details, the product details, which are already available in sale order, will automatically get carried over to the purchase order, and then you choose the supplier, make the purchase order. Work order, same thing, just that data gets transferred from sale order to work order for production, and from work order, you can choose specific components and then place the purchase order. These are some of the very crucial components which are available in the ERP, and at any time due to lack of supply or you want to cancel the PO for various reasons, the supplier has not delivered it on time, you have chosen another supplier, so you want to cancel, you can do that. For closing or cancelling, you can do. Similarly, amendment is something that after the PO is raised, PO is approved and sent to the supplier, there is a change in quantity. You want to add more quantity, or there is a price revision that has happened and you want to amend the PO, you will be able to use amendment option and do. Again, once the PO is amended, it will go for a fresh set of approval after the amendment is done and then submitted to the supplier. So this is how the purchase order module works. Now, after the purchase order is created, the bill or payment entry to supplier can also be created from ERP. It can go for approval and then push to the accounting system. Now, let's move to the stores module or the warehouse module. Now, as soon as the purchase order is placed on a supplier, the system will route that to the warehouse management team. What you see is the warehouse functionality. It will come here and the warehouse person will be able to view all the purchase orders that are placed already. When is it due? All of that will be able to see here. So if you see here, a lot of purchase orders have been raised. It has come here and you are seeing this. Let me just click on one to show you how the GRN can be created in the system. Now the quantity orders ordered for this item is 5,000, I guess. And 5,000 is the quantity that is ordered. And this is the item which has been placed, which has been ordered. And you have already received 4,000 against 5,000. So the remaining quantity is 1,000. You will be able to create another GRN entry for the same purchase order. Until the final quantity is updated here, you will be able to create any number of GRN entries for a purchase order. Now, at any time, you can even set a rule that if an item is not received within 90 days or 60 days from the time the PO is raised, you can even auto close the purchase order. You can even set it up like that and manage. Here, we are also giving an option to create a barcode, which is purely optional. You will be able to assign a barcode here, generate the barcode and use it. That is optional. If required, we can use. Only thing is you will have to use the mobile app to scan the barcode. That is the only restriction that you have here. Now, once the GRN is created, sometimes you may have entered wrongly. All this is possible in manufacturing because the volume is lots. Somebody may have entered wrongly. So even you can revert the GRN. You will be able to reverse the GRN and create a new GRN. And you also will be able to create a GRN for job work. What is job work? This is also very common in manufacturing industry. A lot of times, a manufacturer may or may not be able to do everything at his facility, which means certain of the functions, certain of the processes, he may subcontract that to another supplier, another manufacturer. So that we use job work module where he can pick the item, send it to the supplier for particular process to be done there and then get it back, then add it to the stock. That is what your GRN for job work will do. Move to stock. As I mentioned to you, every item once it comes, it will go through the quality process. Before I go to move to stock, I will quickly touch upon the quality process. As you can see here, for every item that requires quality check, you can define what is the rule that you are going to do, which means every item will have its own quality parameters. You can define what is the inspection type. Sometimes it will be machine based inspection. Sometimes it will be visual. camera-based inspection. Every possible inspection can be configured here, and based on that, system will take you through the inspection process. Now, certain of the items will be checked one-on-one. Means if I buy 10 items, I will check all 10. That is possible. If I buy 1,000, I may not want to check all 1,000. I may take a sample of 10% of 1,000, which is 100. I may check 100. Or 1% of 1,000 can be my sample quantity. I will be able to check that. So at the end of the quality check, you will update what is the accepted quantity, what is the rejected quantity, what is the sample quantity I took, how many of that I approved. So proportionately, the system will also check whether it meets the requirement and then take it to approval. Once the quality check is done, if there is a quality check requirement associated for a product, for an item, and if that has been completed, only then this guy can take the items to stock. Until the quality approves, he cannot take it to stock. So what we do, one is GRN or goods receipt note, which is created as soon as the item hits the warehouse. Then the trigger happens to the quality team for doing quality checks. They complete the quality check. Then they will update either approve or rejection or hold for any other process. Sometimes there is also a possibility where they can trigger a request to the vendor to come and inspect. I am rejecting 10 items. Can you please come to my factory, inspect this and replace or rectify? That is also possible. So we can trigger a request to the vendor to come over and inspect that. That is also possible. So you have multiple ways in which you can do that. So if there is a quality required, once the quality check is done and approved, the notification will go back to the stores and the warehouse team will come to the move to stock option. From here, they will move the accepted quantity back to the stock. Only here, if you can see here, the accepted quantity cannot be modified by the stores because it is the quality team who has accepted a particular quantity against his GRN. Only that can be taken to stock. The warehouse team cannot modify any of this here. Just that control we have given for them to move it to the warehouse. That is the only thing that is being done here. So once the item hits the warehouse, once the item hits the stock, it will also trigger a API call to books to update the stock. The stock value at every stage also will reflect in your accounting system. Then everything is completed. I have accepted the quantity, all ready for payment. I will go to create bill option and create the bill. Now let me come to, some of the additional things that you see here. Stock update, goods return. Sometimes I may be returning the items. I can take out the items from my stock. I can do that. Stock transfer is nothing but from a particular warehouse, I want to transfer it to another warehouse within the same location or outside the location, outside the city. Anything is possible. The tax rules, all of them can be configured, and based on that, the system will initiate the stock transfer from the ERP. Quality, we saw that it can be for raw material, it can be for finished goods also, even production, final QC can also be done. How are we going to do that? I will come to that right now. I'm going to take you through the production process now. And when I come to production, there are two very important things that I'm going to touch upon. One is with respect to how am I going to create the production workflow for every product. That is going to be my first demonstration. Following that, I will show you how the production update will happen in the system. To start with, the production workflow. How am I going to do? Let's assume this is the item that I'm going to manufacture. Now, how I'm going to create the flow in the system. For every item, I will define how many stages or operations are there, what does that operation do, and what is the process type. Is it external? Is it internal? I will configure that here. And then the type of operation. It could be production, it could be washing, a quality check, packing, anything, or a third-party thing. I can do that here. Which machine I'm going to use for this particular process. I will choose the machine type because each of the machines will be categorized under a particular group, and under picking how many machines are there, I can choose one of the machines here, and then the part number will automatically be associated with it. So you will define the entire workflow process for production at every stage here. What is the labor? What is the workforce who are going to use? How many labor, how many workforce are they used here? Dependency on the earlier process. For example, there are 5 processes. I cannot go to second process until I complete the first process. So I set a dependency. I can go to fourth process after completing the second process, because the third process could be an intermediate process which I can do either after the second process or after the fourth process. Like this, I can define my own rule for each product that I manufacture. Finally, couple of important data points we capture. One, what is the benchmark quantity per hour this product other manufacturers make? For example, globally, I make a product that 10 other manufacturers, 100 other manufacturers are making. How are they performing? How am I performing? I can define that benchmark quantity, global quantity here, and my own organization's quantity. Therefore, I know where do I stand. What is my productivity compared to the global productivity? This is my target. How am I going? Am I reaching the target? How can I reach the benchmark global? All this analysis you can do using these parameters. Trust me, this is a very important critical component that you will create for each of the items that you manufacture. If you manufacture 100 items in your plant, for each of the 100 items, you will define this. And sometimes, or not several times, why sometimes? A lot of times, the processes will change. Your efficiency will change, increase. So you may even replace two processes into one process by combining that into one machine. At that time, you can even recreate the routing. Whatever you have created today may not be forever. You will be able to copy this, create a new routing, and deactivate this. So any new business, any new operation, any new production that you are going to make for a product will go through the new routing that you have created. So this is very important component, routing or production workflow, which is created before the production starts. So we saw the GRN. Once the GRN comes, it is going to production team will request for the item. We saw that. Then the items will be issued to the production team. That is what is done here. GIN will be goods issue note will happen here. So against the work order, I will issue the items to the production. Now production will start the production process, and every time they do the production, they will also update at a periodical interval. How are they going to update? We are going to see that now. So if you come to the production update, you click on production operation, you will know how you are going to update. So this form will tell you for every product, every operation, you are going to update here. As you can see here, this is the operation currently which is in. So if there are 5 operations for a product, and for a work order, the item is still in stage 1, operation 1, system will only show that operation. Depending on the dependency that is created, system will only show the relevant operation here. So you can define what was the plan for each hour. If you have created a plan, that will come automatically. What is the actual? This is what the production team will update on an hourly basis. So we know first hour I wanted to produce 100 items. How many did I produce? Was it more? Was it less? Was it equal? Why was it less? That analysis will be able to do based on hourly basis. And also, who did that? Which shift was working on this? Which person who was working on this? All of that you can configure, so you know the productivity by the product, by the machine, by the resource. You'll be able to track it here. And if there is any shutdown, now I have planned 1000 quantity of an item today. There is a 1 hour shutdown in between. Unexpected breakdown has happened. Now that is going to affect my productivity. I need to probably extend that by another 1 hour, or I'm going to produce less than the desired quantity. In that case, I can even update the shutdown details. Which machine was shut and why? What was the reason? From time to time, all that you can define here. So in the final analysis, the shutdown time will be excluded while calculating the productivity for the day. And any other information that you want to capture in terms of parameters, what was the inspection carried out, what inspection method. When I say inspection, this is quality inspection. They will capture it for each of the items in each of the stages. And then finally, whether I'm going to accept or reject, or I'm going to pass it for rework. I can approve the item, I can reject the item, completely I can reject the item, or I can tell you are in operation 3, there is a problem, I'm going to ask you to rework, take it back to operation 2, do the rework, come back to operation 3 and then show it to me again. I can even define where do I want to take this back and do the rework. I can configure that here. So once this is done, at any time I know what is the start time, what is the end time, how much have I produced, how much is remaining, whether I'm going to complete this within my timeline, If not, how am I going to extend my shift and manage the production? So this is how the production update will happen on an hourly basis. Anytime they want, they can do that. And once the complete update is done, there is a remaining item that I have. I'll be able to send it back to the production, which is what I will do using the goods return module here. And once all the production is completed, final quality check is done, then the PDI or pre-delivery inspection is done, we will move to the packing module, and then it will finally be moved to the finished goods stock. In progress stock is nothing but during production at every stage what is in progress, and final quantity, final stock is when I will move it to the FG stock as we call. Anything that is unused, I will return it back to the warehouse. So at any time, I can take a report of items which are under production. Where is it available? Which will be taken from WIP or work in progress report. And during production, there are going to be rejections which I will move to scrap. I can identify a scrap. I can move it to the scrap management. I can even create a quotation. I can ask for a quotation from scrap dealers, and then I can sell it. The scrap could be wastage. The scrap could be rejected products. Could be anything. I can take it to the either I can take it to the inventory, or I can sell it and then move the item, move the cost back to the scrap sold under this scrap sold item. So this is how you will manage the production process. In production also, there is a possibility, there is an option to create barcode, in which you can create a barcode. Some of the items you can paste the barcode in the product itself. For some of the items you cannot paste because of the size of the product. So what we do, there is something that we are currently working on, wherein we are creating a unique number based on various parameters such as supplier code, part of supplier code, the date of purchase. All of that are considered, and then for every product, a unique 10-digit, 9-digit, 12-digit number, hexadecimal number will get created. That number will be by default tagged to the product. Along with the product, when it comes out with a unique number. That number will give complete traceability of the item, starting from sale order to the purchase order, supplier who supplied, when, who approved it, who did the quality check, when was it produced, which ship, which resource, which machine. The entire traceability from this beginning till the end, you will be able to trace it. That is something we are currently working on. Now, few other features which we are currently working on apart from what you saw is integrating the asset module into ERP. There is an exhaustive asset module in which complete management of assets can be done, which also we are integrating with this, so that all the machines, all the components which are there, which comes under the fixed assets, can be configured there. You will be able to monitor the fixed assets there. You will be able to create a preventive maintenance, scheduling of maintenance, the warranty management, the annual maintenance contract. All of that you will be able to manage using that. And finally, the depreciation also can be calculated depending on the life of the asset, depending on the salvage period. You will be able to create depreciation and also integrate that with Zoho Books. So this is something that we are currently working on. We are extending this solution to cater to few such requirements. And this is how typically a normal manufacturing process works. But every manufacturer has its own unique way of managing the production process, especially the production process. No two production module can be same. If you ask me, where does the customization come? Maybe the first part, which is warehouse and purchase module, procurement module, may not change too much. Pretty much they remain same. But when it comes to the production, planning, scheduling, and production, core production module, every manufacturer has some unique property associated with it, thereby inviting a lot of customization, which we have been able to do very easily because of Zoho Creator's capability to customize to any extent possible. This is the broad summary of manufacturing process, starting from sales to dispatch, which we saw at different stages. There are workflows, as I mentioned to you. There are integration touch points, which I mentioned to you. And this is running live today in quite a few locations. We are also taking it to the next level in terms of adding a few more components so that it becomes even bigger than what it is today. On that note, I will conclude my presentation and hand over the control back to Preeti.
Thank you, Ishwar. Thank you for this very informative session. And first of all, the solution that we saw today was very extensive, and it looks like an end-to-end ERP to manage the complete manufacturing process, right? I saw this. Thank you for walking us through this amazing solution. So, Ishwar, in addition to that, I have felt like asking a few questions. Can I?
Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Ishwar. Thank you. So, the solution that we saw now, what is the current industry potential it is built for? Like the possibility of other industry sizes to use this solution?
We started with small and medium-sized industries, but with creators' capabilities, creator coming out with the new versions, upgrading the platform, we are now able to scale it to even larger customers. One of our implementations, which is currently going on, is pretty large customer, wherein we have been able to easily, seamlessly upgrade from small, medium to a larger potential customer as well. So to answer you, anything, it doesn't matter. The turnover or revenue does not matter. It will work beautifully from even smallest manufacturer to a large manufacturer.
Wow, that's great. That's great, Ishwar. So we were talking about scalability, right? How scalable is the solution that we saw, like in terms of the performance when we move from smaller industry to larger, and what are the change requirements that are needed? How you manage it?
Scalability in terms of platform, I think we all know that creator, it can easily scale. Volume is never a problem for creator. We have managed a lot of volume using creator, not only in ERP, but also in few other solutions. When it comes to customization, I have implemented few other ERPs in my career. I have gone through the difficulties in customization with respect to other products, whereas with Zoho Creator, customization has never been a problem. In fact, our production scheduling and production module has undergone 360-degree change for one of our customers from what it was to what it is today. That's been possible only because the platform allows me to customize to any extent required. That's never been a challenge for us, Preeti.
Wow. So customization makes the works very easy, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. And we were talking about routing model, right?
Yes.
So how does the product routing work? I hope you gave a clear explanation on that. So how does it works for separate products, specific product?
Okay. As I mentioned during my demo, for every product, you will define workflow. You will define the production workflow that the product will go through. One product may have 5 stages. Another product may have 10 stages. One product which has 10 stages today, you may want to trim it down to 8 tomorrow or increase it to 12 tomorrow, depending upon the efficiency of your production facility. Therefore, for every product, you will define what you are following today. Whenever there is an optimization that is happening within the plant, they'll be able to modify that. They'll be able to recreate that workflow. By doing that, they know what is the efficiency that I am following. Whether even every stage you can define the time to be taken. So you know at every stage, for example, for me to produce end to end from stage 1 to stage 10, it is going to take 1 hour, and that is distributed across 10 stages. And I can even define stage 1, it is going to take 5 minutes for n number of products. Like that I can define. So I know at every stage what is the budgeted time and what is the actual time taken, and I will know the machine's efficiency also along with resource efficiency. So to answer you, every product will have a unique workflow, production workflow that you will create, and using them the production module will drive you through. Changes will happen. At that time, you can always make a change.
Oh, great, great. So it becomes very easy
Yes.
when we manage the separate workflows.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And Ishwar, we were just discussing about the bill of materials, right? So how best can the bill of materials can be handled? Can it be modified in the middle if I need it? Or will it impact the future transactions if I do some changes over it?
Yes. See, every product will go through a change. That is what evolution is all about, right? A product that you buy today and a product that you buy 1 year later, same product would have undergone so many transitions, so many changes, which means the components that go inside the product also may change, will change. Not only the process. We talked about the process change, manufacturing process change we just talked about. Similarly, what goes inside the product also will change. Whenever that changes, you will create a new bill of material. Okay, we call it design change in the system. You can create a new design, create a new design number, and then put the entire bill of material again. So for a product, you may have two bills of materials, one active, one inactive. What I was doing so far could be one. What I'm going to do from now could be two. Or for the same product, I may be using different paints. Just the paint alone may change, and each of the paints may have a unique SKU. In that case, I may create two bill of material, one for product one with say silver coated paint, and for the other with another bleach coated material. Even I can create like that. So anytime the BOM will undergo a change, you will have the option to change, or on the other side, you may discontinue a particular component because it is failing again and again. You may want to replace it with another component as part of your R&D. You may want to change. In that case, you can deactivate that component. You can delink that from the BOM. You can replace it with another component which you want to include, and then run the BOM. You can still do that. So the BOM is completely dynamic. It can never be static for any product. It will change. And as it changes, you can keep updating that in the system.
Okay. So like that, we can just keep on adding the BOMs whenever once we make it deactivated, and again we add one and make it active. Wow,
yes,
that's
absolutely.
great.
Yes, absolutely.
And my last question would be like, we discussed about integrating our solution with CRM and Books, right? How seamless the integration works between them?
We have used native APIs for integration across the board, be it from CRM to Creator or from Creator to Books. And as I mentioned to you at the beginning, there are two-way integration enabled almost between any two systems. For example, you create a sale order, on approval, it flows seamlessly into ERP. Now, once the procurement is done, the sales team should be notified that the production process has started. You can create a trigger from ERP, which will hit the CRM immediately. So there are different workflows created for integration between any two systems, and based on that, system will trigger the update back to the respective system, destination system immediately. It's completely seamless. There is no manual process associated, but you have the option to turn it off at any time. If I'm going to use only ERP, I do not want any integration to get triggered. Then all that you need to do is in the configuration to turn integration as off. Nothing will work. It will only be local to ERP. That's possible.
Okay, so if we need it, we can just use it out, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So Ishwar, actually the solution was very amazing. It was very effective to see a complete ERP for our manufacturing industry. Right?
Yes.
And thank you so much for your valuable time, Ishwar. It was really a great session.
Thank you so much, Zoho team, for giving us this opportunity. Once again, many thanks to all of you, and thank you, audience, for joining us and listening to this solution, seeing the solution along with us. Thank you. Back to you, Preeti.
Thank you, Ishwar. Thank you so much. So I'm just sharing my screen. Adding to that, we have another two upcoming sessions, Creator Tech Connect, which is going to be held at 9th March, and Learning Table Series, which will be held at 6th of April. The registration link for joining those sessions will be posted in the chat box. Please make use of that. And also, I'm just leaving the session open for few more minutes. If you have any questions regarding the solution you saw or regarding the manufacturing sector, you can post it in the question tab. If you want to know more about the solutions, you can just contact us with training@zohocreator.com. Thank you everyone for attending the session. We will be meeting you again in the next upcoming session. So please make sure you register for the session. And thank you so much, Ishwar, for your valuable time.
Thank you, Preeti. Thank you, everybody.